Hi, everyone. I'm Rita Haddad. I'm an art therapist and an eating psychology coach.
Hi, everyone. I am Dr. Mackenzie Smith. I am a chiropractor and an eating psychology coach.
And together we are Food
Food heals.
Heals. Thank you for being here.
So we are back. The last video, I talked all about myself and my backstory. And Rita, it's your turn. So tell us a little bit about what made you love the work you're in, what made you start art therapy, and how it kind of goes together and how that's like a really, really great complement to eating psychology.
Yeah, so my story, it's not as straightforward as yours, but it goes back to like a young age. Like I'm talking super young. So I knew from about the same age as you had your experience, from about sixth, seventh grade, I knew that I was going to go into psychology because I had this fascination with understanding human behavior and why we do the things that we do and why we make the choices that we make. And so that aspect of like wanting to understand people started from a really young age. And then over the years, I never knew what I was going to do with it. I never knew how I was going to have a career doing that, or what kind of degrees I would have to get to do what I wanted to do. I just knew I was fascinated by human behavior. So fast forward to me making a last minute random, I'm telling you, I applied and got accepted and moved across the country within like 8 weeks. It
Whoa.
was like a whirlwind getting into art therapy, but I had been using art as a tool for myself, as a healing tool for myself for decades. So it was something that I was passionate about, and I knew that I wanted to go into psychology. So I figured, I don't know a whole lot, but I know it would be good for me, and it's in New York, and I want to go to New York. I was like right on Long Island. I was like 20 minutes away from the city. I was like, it sounds perfect for me. And sure enough, it was perfect. And so art therapy is all about using creativity and creative modalities. So it could be drawing or sculpting or painting or role playing or whatever, creative modalities to tap into the unconscious, to tap into that part of the brain where the unconscious is and the subconscious is. And so it is a counseling field, and it brings up a lot of stuff. And you should not do art therapy with coaches or other therapists who are not formally trained in art therapy, because there's a lot that goes into it. But we are trained on how to use certain art mediums, crayons, markers, watercolors, oil paints, acrylics, and how each medium taps into a certain emotional response in each
Mm.
individual, and how to use that to bring up the suppressed or repressed issues and then process them together in a safe, contained, therapeutic space. And so in your example of your friend from your childhood with an eating disorder, or working with teens with eating disorders, art therapy is really great. But you have to know that in the beginning of working with a patient who has an anorexia eating disorder, I would never use watercolors, because watercolors are totally fluid. And an eating disorder is a very controlled disorder of the mind. It's all about control, controlling my caloric intake, controlling how much I exercise, and controlling my weight and my size. And watercolors are very fluid, and you cannot control them very well. And that would be a bad combination for someone with an eating disorder.
Oh my gosh, how interesting.
Yeah, so I'm trained in knowing not just the therapy side of it and the psychology side of it, but also how to use each of these creative modalities in each of these art mediums to elicit certain responses. So towards the end of my therapy with an eating disordered patient, I might use watercolors, and I might say, you're ready for this next step. You're ready to learn how to, in a controlled space, let go of some control. And we're going to do that by using watercolors. So fast forward from that,
Very cool.
that's 10 years ago. I'm an old fogey. I graduated. I finished my master's in art therapy in 2009. So here we go, 11 years later. So fast forward from there, I always had said, if I didn't go into psychology, I would want to go into nutrition, but I didn't have a passion for being a nutritionist or a dietitian. So through the training that we had done with the Institute for the Psychology of Eating, I was able to find a way to fuse my passion for healthy eating, healthy living, clean eating, nutrition, and all the little tidbits that I had picked up throughout my life with my passion for understanding human behavior. And then I met you, and we co-created Food Heals, and here we are today.
Cool. I love
Yeah.
it. That's
you.
awesome. How do you see yourself using art therapy with your eating psychology clients? I know you talked a little bit about, with that one specific case, but tell me a
Yeah,
little.
so a lot of people feel like crayons and art are for children. So part of that is breaking the taboo of being creative and drawing and coloring and making stick figures. And part of that is also teaching people how freeing it can be to use crayons or paints or watercolors or markers. I color with my kids all the time. And so I think I would use art experiences as homeworks sometimes when it was applicable or necessary with clients who came through my coaching doors, but it definitely would not be 100%. I think more I'm using the tools and the education I learned in my program more than the art itself
Cool.
to understand why people overeat or eat in secret or are so attached to the number on the scale.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
thank
So
you.
where do you see yourself taking eating psychology in the next few years? Where do you see yourself taking that with your clients?
I'm struggling with this. I don't have a specific niche yet, but I do know I'm passionate about healing digestion, healing fatigue, and increasing energy naturally without false additives like caffeine or energy drinks, and definitely weight loss and body image. But I think weight loss and body image are sort of like the overarching, and I think digestion and fatigue and poor immunity are sort of like where my hot spots are, where I can show people I'm really into clean eating. And so to show people how to use food as a healing medicine to heal your energy or heal your fatigue or heal your immunity without medications and antibiotics and all of that,
Absolutely. That's
unless
awesome.
necessary, of course.
Of course. Of course.
Yeah.
How do people find you, Rita?
So if you want to find me on Instagram, I am at Sublimation Coach, but I am more active on Facebook, and you can find me on Facebook I have a public business page, Sublimation Coaching, and I also have a very engaging, very active Facebook group called the No Diet Diet. You can also join me there. I post there 2 to 3 times a day. It's super active. I've got challenges, I've got freebies, I gave away 3 coaching calls in the month of August. So that's probably the best place to find me. So it's Facebook, and you can find me. The private group is called the No Diet Diet.
Love it.
All right.
Thank you. That was great. Thank
Thanks
you,
so
Rita.
much. All right. Bye.